Hey everyone, Philip from BlackBull Markets. A nice in-depth analysis on GBP JPY. We're starting here on the 4-hourly time frame, and what we can see is already a nice sort of movement to the upside, nice trend to the upside. We see our higher lows and our higher highs starting to form. Now, what we're also noticing here is our corrections are starting to get a bit weaker and weaker as we're starting to go up. Now, obviously, what we're seeing some nice strong moves to the back to the downside, and we're seeing it starting to deplete in its energy to try and push further down. This could mean either we're going to see a nice strong drop coming up, or we could look for the market to continue further high. Now, what we're looking for is starting to look for some more different technical analysis in here. We're already seeing a nice channel starting to push here to the upside. If I can get this one on the spot, we see nice movements in here, so we could potentially look for a touch on that top trend line to start pushing back down to our bottom trend line, which could give us that nice move back down. If this trend line does continue to push further higher and we see this sideways correction, then we could look for a nice position to push further higher, to push back into that top trend line following our nice uptrend. However, what we need to see is we need to have a look at that sort of more internal sort of structure over here to kind of get an idea of what's going on as well. Moving down to our 30-minute time frame, we are seeing, like I mentioned, does look a bit like sideways consolidation, but if you look a bit more in depth, we are seeing a nice sort of triangle that is starting to push through. So kind of squeezing into this tighter range. This means we could either look for a nice violent explosion, like I mentioned, to the top of that trend line. If not, we could see a push down to this bottom zone. Now, keeping in mind we are sitting at a nice strong support level here, so it could give us another reason to look for the top side. If we do push back further higher, we need to keep in mind this that it doesn't consolidate in the zone. So lots of things to think about. So ideally, what we want to wait for is for this market, like I mentioned, to push to that channel and then look for further moves. Now, it is coming to the weekend, so we could have to wait for this till next week. So like I mentioned, look for a touch on this trend line. Ideally, you want to touch the bottom trend line, as I always mention. Look to take your entry stop loss just below that area and look for potential moves to the upside. However, breaks to the downside, we always need to keep in mind of our support/resistance zone. So stop loss is important for this, especially if the market does drop. We can always be safe. So stay tuned, trade safe.